Hey, welcome to the Pink House Chronicles, the official vlog / podcast of Ben Owens Music, your hometown music store, located at 1803 Plum Street in lovely Riverton, Georgia. This is the show where we talk about gear, music, the shop, answer your questions, and much more. I'm Dave.
And I'm Chase.
All right, it has been, a little bit of a minute, but we've been kind of busy at the shop.
Yeah, we've been pretty swamped lately.
Well,
in a good way.
Yeah.
So,
well, we have stuff going on in our lives on top of what's going on in the shop, but I'm sure we'll talk about that. But I think one of the reasons is we've got a lot of new cool stuff in the shop. Yes,
we do. We got another order of guitars in. We got a couple more Squire Telecasters. We got one that's in, trying to remember the shade of blue, because Fender's proprietary with all their colors.
I'm leaning over and looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up and look.
It's almost like a pelham blue. It's got a little bit of a sparkle to it, and I'm trying to remember what they call that, but
I think it's Tide Pool.
Tide Pool.
I think it may be like a Tide Pool.
Got a mint green pick guard on it, too. It's really cool, really cool. And we've got some new acoustic electrics. We've got a couple of Ibanez acoustic electrics, and we've got a Fender acoustic electric, and they're all about $350, and they're really a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah. I think we was both just they sound great.
Yeah,
and when you plug them in, they even sound better.
They sound better, yeah.
On that, so if you're looking for one of those and you don't want to drop a lot of coin on a higher end one, but these are great ones. And then
the two Ibanez's are the smaller bodied ones. So if you have a child or you're a smaller person and you're looking for a smaller guitar, they're perfect for that as well.
Would it be rude to say these are very working musician-y? I think they'll take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah, you can bang them around and they'll
and then later today, the day we record this, we've got another Electro Harmonics EHX order coming in.
Yeah, we do. And I'm excited about that. I've got a pedal coming in that order.
In that order, we got an amp in, because those things come in and then they're gone. So if you're looking for a great, you need a fuzz, if you don't get it, I'm going to buy this one, because I didn't put anything in on this order this time.
And it's a full spectrum. You can use it as a sort of slight breakup, low gain kind of fuzz, old school, or you can go all the way.
And if you what's it sound like? It is the Billy Corgan sound off of Cherub Rock. Is that the right album?
Yeah, well, Siamese Dream.
Okay,
yeah,
but Cherub Rock's the song on that album.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while since I bought one of their records, so you forget.
I think it's been a while since anybody's bought any of their records.
Hey-yo. Boom. But that, and then we got something, I'm trying to remember what exactly, because I don't have the list in front of us, but we got an EHX tuner pedal that's going to be it's super small.
Yeah, it's a small imprint, but it's got the letter shows up on the screen. It's
the lumberjack. Yes.
Jinx. The lumberjack, which is I don't want to. It's like a cross between an overdrive and maybe
a distortion.
And you can use it on guitar or bass.
So that's something
pretty gnarly. It's really cool.
So if you're a bass player, we're thinking about you and pedal stuff.
Yeah, we haven't forgot about you.
So I know in the future orders we're going to be adding a little bit more bass pedal stuff, because we tend to be.
And we need our bass player community to tell us what pedals do you use the most as a bass player. Reach out and let us know. So
if you play in your church, if you play in your church, what's a sound that you want to get? Because it shouldn't be all the guitarists that bring all the cool sounds.
Yeah. Don't let them hog all the glory.
Yeah, you need a killer big board to come in there too to compete with them on that. But what's okay? I mean, that's what's going on in the shop. A lot of cool stuff and builds. Did we talk about the Telecaster build Ben did? The budget one?
Touched on it. Yeah, we touched on it. I don't think it was finished when we did the last one. It is now finished. We actually put a demo, or we've recorded a demo. I don't know if we put it up.
It will be coming out this week.
Yeah, and you'll get a good chance to see what it looks like and what it sounds like. It plays like a dream. It really does.
It's cool because it's got the humbucker, the Seymour Duncan humbucker on it, and then a Fender Tele in the bridge, and the neck. It's that humbucker.
Yeah, and it's got a beautiful quilted maple neck on it. It's got a almost bluish hue to it.
It's like a Pelham blue.
It's like a Daphne.
Daphne blue.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the lighter shade of blue.
But yeah, come check that out. And I know he's working on another one as well.
Yeah, we've got a gold top, double humbucker Les Paul meets Telecaster sort of build.
That Fireman's Gold.
Yeah,
kind of looks like that Chris Shiflett kind of.
Yeah, and it's got binding on it as well. It really pops.
It is cool. I know what you got to come in your mouth when I ask what's new in your gear world.
I'm almost finished with my telly build that Ben has put together for me. A Ben Owens custom Telecaster, and I'm just waiting on my orange drop capacitor to come in, and then it's done. I just have to put that in there, string it up, and it's good to go. I've also I ordered myself a Paul Cochran Timmy, one of the actual Paul Cochran made ones, not one of the MXR ones. So I'm waiting on that. And I do have an Electro Harmonix pedal coming in today as soon as UPS runs. I got a small stone phaser,
okay,
so I can get those Waylon Jennings country phase tones from the 70s, that outlaw country sound.
So in my world, I got one of the two builds finished, and that is the offset Telecaster that has the vintage broadcaster pickups in it. Mm-hmm. On there, I've got a WD neck, got a 920 basically reverse electronic system in there. You played it like the day I got it. It sat down, and for a sit-down player, sometimes it played. It's super comfortable to sit down to play.
It really is. It hooks right around your thigh.
Yeah,
it feels nice standing up too, though. It hangs really nicely. It's really well balanced.
And I'm somebody who tends to play on the bridge pickup at anything that's got two pickups.
Right.
But when I got home and I was messing with it, able to like really just crank it out and take it for a walk. I really, really do like where you're playing both at the same time. And I was like, normally on Telecasters particularly, I love the bridge sound.
Oh, yeah.
This one, because they're low output, working together, it just sounds really just killer. Then you add like an overdrive or a fuzz to it. And even just the neck pickup, I'm blown away by that. The Seymour Duncan.
You're smitten.
I'm smitten. I know you get excited with the new toys, and I'm probably like 85% done. I'm in the queue. I want Ben's got to help us out with some of the things on there, and he's been working on yours this week. And
make no mistake, he's done the lion's share of the actual building portions of our builds. We're talking about how we're putting together guitars, but me and Dave haven't done the grunt work.
There's certain parts on it. Yeah, like some of the electronics. I looked at the schematics for the Jazzmaster wiring. I'm like, this is way beyond my pay grade. Above my pay grade. I need somebody with some experience on that. And then finally, I had ordered 2 JHS Legends of Fuzz pedals. I had to back order them in, and you order something,
and you forget about it.
You forget about it, and they came in the mail. I'm like, I paid for these, and then so it's kind of like a surprise.
Yeah,
it's like a double surprise.
It's like bonus gear.
Bonus gear, and so it's like the Shin Fuzz, and then the original tone bender circuits.
Which is my favorite fuzz circuit of all time.
And
it's what you hear on the old T-Rex records. Mick, can't remember his name, David Bowie's guitar player.
It's not Mick Jones.
Not Mick Jones, it's Mick.
Anyways,
when you hear Ziggy Stardust, that's what you're hearing as a tone bender.
But yeah, then that one is... So I'm still playing with those and figuring those out. The Shin Fuzz has this great kind of chainsaw-y.
Yes.
Really I want to draw the wave patterns, but it doesn't help any. Like, it clips really soon, so it gets really super buzzy, which I kind of like that. You can get that weird, that Marconi kind of like, if you put a delay on there. And then I just ordered, I sold something and got one of those Boss JHS. I've been on a JSS buying. Angry Driver just came in the other day.
Yeah, their little collaboration pedal. Yeah, they did. So it's in a Boss housing.
Yeah, so it's a tank. It's the Angry Driver combined with the Blues Driver in there. So I just been playing with that. But that's new in my world. Hopefully next time we record, that Jazzmaster will be completed and. I'll be happy with my guitar collection for at least a month or two. At least I'll be pining for something else later on.
You got gas.
I do.
Guitar acquisition syndrome.
That's a lot. We've been crazy busy. And I think also we need to throw in there, you've been getting a lot of good press with your own personal thing. I think we need to mention that.
I try not to toot my own horn too much on company time. But yeah, I'd released a record back in the very end of June, and I'm starting to get press in all over the world, actually. more outside of the U.S. than inside the U.S. I've gotten radio play in Sydney, Australia, and the U.K. I ended up in a magazine called Country Music People magazine, and it's pretty wild. I'm getting hits every single day, and it's just like it's snowballing.
And you'll be recording in Budokan once everything kind of settles down.
Yeah, be big in Japan.
That's right. So that's cool, but check that out. We posted it up, but where can people find that stuff, Chase?
You can find my music, Chase Crawford. My new record is called The Neon Lights Go On Forever, and you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming platforms, or you can purchase it directly from me on Bandcamp at chasecrawford.bandcamp.com.
Do you have physical copies if people came in the store?
I do have a handful of physical copies still.
So yeah, come into the store and just ask Chase, and we'll do it here.
Yeah,
we'll do it. We'll in the shop won't even take a cut.
Yeah. Don't let Ben hear this.
Don't let Ben. Shh. Ben did not hear that.
Question time.
So last time I was lazy on the social media, but this time we do have questions. I don't say anytime you do have a question, post it up. We'll just archive it, and the next show we'll throw it out here. But we got some really good questions we pulled up, and the first one is from Cody Simpson. And Cody asked, "I'd like to hear your opinion on the Orange Tiny Terror or other budget-friendly tube amps, an amp one could use in a wide variety of tones." You want to start off with this one? Because I definitely I have my opinions.
Yeah, the Tiny Terror is it's a solid amp. As far as a variety of tones, not so much.
If you're looking for an orange sound.
If you like the orange sound, it does classic rock great. You can boost the front end and get that stoner metal tone, that Black Sabbath, sort of sludgy kind of thing. It does that killer, but it's not a blues amp. It's not you're not going to play country on it. It's a decent pedal platform. I see that the second half of this question being other budget-friendly tube amps, of which we happen to have a few in the store.
We do on those. We've
got a 1980 PV-VT classic that is in pristine condition. I think the guy that had it, it's on consignment here at the store, and the guy that had it, I think it basically just sat in his house and he didn't use it.
Right.
And it was serviced right before we put it in stock here at the store, and it doesn't have preamp tubes. It only has the tubes in the main section, but it still sounds like a tube amp. It gets those really glassy cleans, borderline Fender. It's got a built-in phase switch as well as built-in reverb. There's a reverb tank. It's a killer pedal platform.
And bang for the buck.
Yeah, bang for your buck. But ask us about that. When you come in, we'll let you play through it. We let people play through our amps here.
Yeah. If you don't, I think it's just I think we've talked about this. You need to try it before you buy it.
Yeah, try it before you buy it.
You gotta drop some coin on it.
It's not like online where you're like, I hope I get a good one.
You got to. Did you bond with it?
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
I think too is those the Defender Blues Junior.
Yeah.
Those are good.
I think pedal platforms too.
I think pedal platforms, you want something with headroom in it. If you're going to get an orange or even like we have Marshalls, and we had an Origin 20 in here, and that
has a lot of headroom. That's a lot closer to like a Blues Breaker Plexi type circuit where it's not. It does have a boost function where there's a little coil tap type deal on the volume knob where you can pull it up and you can get some really hairy distortion. But honestly, just running it on the milder side, on the vintage side, and it's a killer pedal platform, and you can play just about any kind of genre. And we sell them for about $650 in here, and tube amps. If you're gonna get an amp that has tubes in it, you're probably gonna spend at least $600 unless you find like a used one we might have in here, but it is worth it.
So it just depends on what type of music you listen. The Tiny Terrors are great for the price and what they do. Yeah. But I think if you're going to do the Dooms, classic rock, kind of like 70s,
it'll get you the AC/DC tone, it'll get you the Black Sabbath tone, it'll do any of that stuff. It's not going to do the 80s, highly compressed distortion or the the really heavy metal type stuff. It's not going to play Metallica, that kind of stuff, unless you have some really fancy stuff on the front end to boost it, you know.
But you're going to want something that's going to give you headroom, so it's going to and that
exactly.
meaning like it's going to run clean, and so that's why you hear Fender is always one of the like a pedal friendly platform.
Yeah, or Vox.
Yeah. On there. Hope we answer your question, Cody. Our next question's from Sean Lackey. Suggestions on and examples of pedal boards. Y'all, hold on. I think this goes on to the second page. I feel like, what is that? Page 2. Who is that? End of the next part of the story. Y'all do.
This is a Dave question.
Dave question is like, I build like just when the COVID thing, like everybody else, I'm like, I need something to do, so I got all this spare wood out in my man shed and just started building them. I'll post some pictures up on the social media, but it's just pine or whatever kind of like wood and just kind of like,
they're platform pedal boards.
So I kind of build them to
with
like,
an angle, but you know it's kind of to spec too.
Yeah, I can build it to whatever it's like within reason. I mean, if I need to go buy the wood, I go buy the wood. But like I tend to like build like mini pedal board. I've got like a couple ones that I've bought that I'm like, okay, here's like you saw my overdrive board that was like all fuzz and overdrive. Yeah. But then I've got one that's got what you need. If I go to my friend Bill's and we're gonna record, it's got the drive. The delay, the reverb, and the tuner pedal and stuff like that. So like suggestion examples, it's just like you need to think about what pedals do you want on that board?
Yeah.
And do you want it to be, let's just say, set up in a line so you can serial it, or do you want it bigger so you're going to have like 2 lines of it back there?
Are you running through an effects loop and the front of your amp, or just one or the other? That determines, a lot of times if you're running some effects through the effects loop and some in front of the amp, you're going to want 2 rows to keep it kind of clean.
Like I got that parallel mixer, and I'm like, I got to build something a little bit better because I don't have a pedal board that fits it. Or if you get like those kind of just a parallel mixer, you want to run a bunch of channels so you don't run them serial into each other so they can independently not affect each other's sounds. So I mean, it just depends on what setup. How many pedals do you want? Do you want like a big honking pedal board? You want like with 20 pedals on it? Then that's going to be different than something like I built something that takes like 4 or 5 pedals. So you get the standards on there.
Basically, it's kind of tailored to whatever the customer kind of is looking for within reason. So I mean, if you're interested, shoot us a private message and we can discuss the ins and outs of what you might want, Sean.
I got a couple in the back. They're just kind of sitting back there and on that. So. Really, it's just what you want, and I know we're not as I'm not trying to be evasive on it. But like pedal boards are very personal things.
Yeah, they really are.
And effect pedal you want to take this next one, too?
Yeah, the last question comes from Mark Josie. It's how about general opinions / examples on modifications you find value in both guitars and amps? As far as amps, I don't. I've never really modded an amp. I know there's some popular mods like putting a bright cap on there and modifying your transform or your transistors and your capacitors and stuff like that.
Or with certain Fenders, you're going to mod the volume because I know with like the Hot Rod Deluxe, it goes from quiet to just like freaking just loud.
Kind of, I know people sometimes will put attenuators in amps so they can get to the sweet spot. I like playing loud, so I've never really messed with an attenuator. As far as guitars, however, you can take a $200 guitar and at least sound-wise transform it into a $600 or $700 guitar with a few modifications. I think right off the bat, the tuning gears is a big one. A lot of overseas-made guitars tend to have tuning gears with lower ratios and or just not as well made, and they don't hold a tune as well.
I think it's too is when you're starting to get it right to where it needs to be, and you tune it, and it either goes sharp or flat, and then you get frustrated with it because it just does. There's a little too much play.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a relatively inexpensive one. The next step up, I would think, or actually another one that would be is putting a bone nut on that improves sustain and your intonation and all that. The next step up though would be your pickups. I mean, you can take depending on what kind of music you're playing, you put EMGs on just about anything and it's going to sound like any other guitar with EMGs, with active pickups. But you can take like I said, you can take a Squier or an Epiphone and throw some Seymour Duncans in it, of which we are dealers, and it'll sound just about as good as any Mexican Fender or, almost as good as a Gibson. I think another one that is becoming more common is the treble bleed circuit. So the treble bleed circuit basically works how almost, if you're playing not a high dollar guitar, if you roll off your volume, you lose a lot of your signal in terms of the what's it called? It doesn't cut through frequency wise as well. The EQ kind of falls flat a little bit. And with the treble bleed, you put that in there. It's just a little capacitor that attaches to one of your pots, and it will cause it to, when you roll off the volume, you don't lose the attack. You don't. And if you're, if you're one of those guys that's running pedals on all the time, you can clean up. You can control your clean and your dirty from your guitar with that. It's a vintage wiring type of deal. Guys in the old days, that's what they did. They didn't pedal hop. They weren't.
Well, you didn't have a volume pedal or expression pedal.
So you can dial in your clean tone, especially on like a Les Paul where you have independent volumes. You can dial in your clean tone on the neck and then kick it over the bridge with your distorted tone, and you're controlling it all there from the guitar.
I mean, that's why like on Gretsch, it's like, why do you have a master volume on there? And then you have like 2 volumes running it, and then maybe a tone knob is you can like really...
Yeah, you can really get a lot of varied tones just by working the guitar itself, and that's one of the things that's great for.
I think also too is an inexpensive is you can get a new wiring harness.
Yes.
Particularly like I've done this where I've had an Epiphone and it sounds all right, and then I'll get I want a vent, and you have to pay attention to the pot size.
Right.
Like you need like the talls versus thin, because Epiphones are going to be different. Epiphones and different Gibsons are going to be different. So you have to pay attention, because when you switch the knobs, you're like, why is this standing up so tall?
Yeah.
So there's some like learning curve on this.
Oh yeah.
But like if you want to, you can get a vintage Gibson sound out of an Epiphone just by spending less than like $60-$70 on a wiring harness.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ben, I have an Epiphone Les Paul that he redid with vintage wiring, and it did wonders.
Changing out the pots.
Yeah, we get, you can definitely upgrade the pots to something nicer.
What is the point of too much when it comes to modding?
Well, I mean,
for you,
I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. I think something to keep in mind though, and we see this a lot working in a guitar shop, is just because you put $700 of mods into a $300 guitar does not equal it's worth $1,000. So if you know going in that this doesn't affect the resale value, that's fine. There's never too much. If you love the guitar, put all the money in the world you want to it. There's plenty of examples of guitar players that had cheapo guitars that they upgraded to the 9s.
Yeah, I know. I see that I posted something on the Reverb. I'm going to hit pause because it's all. There's our order for pedals and the phone's ring. I had to hit play again. I always hit the wrong button. But I think just bottom line on there, I think you can, what I mean, we're trying to get at that. We've seen this both on stuff, people selling stuff online. Sure. It's like, I've got expense. It's almost cheaper just to take the parts out and sell those individually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, like, if you're gonna mod a guitar or in a bass, you're doing it for you.
Yeah, if you know that going in, if you're not doing it with the intention of flipping a guitar, if you're just doing it because you love this guitar and you want it to sound as best as it possibly can, then go for it, man. Because the sky's the limit.
If it's like a Squire or an Epiphone, even if it's like unless you're, fill in the blank famous person, it's not going to have any. It's not increasing the value whatsoever on that. Yeah. But modding, it's fun. It's fun, and it's a fun thing to do.
Yes,
I think that's it. What we got for the end of the week. So, thanks for checking out the show. And things we always ask is please share, comment, subscribe, submit questions for our next episode, which will be soon. I know that's very ambiguous, but that's how we like it here at the store on that. But again, thanks for everybody. This is really cool. We enjoyed the support on this.
Yeah, and hey, if you have more questions, fire away. We'll, like Dave said, we'll archive them and we'll try to tackle them next episode.